Dala, 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 dala. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are going to talk about another principle of MAAT. MAAT are a set of guiding principles that help us live our day-to-day lives the best way we can. As we work on ourselves and as we work on improving ourselves and walk the path of our own destiny. The principles of MAAT come to help us. They are tools, they are callings and invitations to work on specific aspects of who we are in a way that is harmonious with our inner self and our environment. Today we are going to talk about the principle of remaining in balance with your emotions. How important and truly, truly important, especially in those times, to be able to remain in balance, to remain focused, and to remain still in the midst of chaos. Your emotions are your own domain. They are your inner guidance, your inner compass. They enable you to perceive and exchange with the world and react and feel with the world. However, your emotions should not be overpowering you. They should not be the solely factor of your actions or your thoughts or your decisions. They are one factor among many things to consider when making a decision, but they are never a determinant. And you really have to be conscious of your emotions, to be aware of when others are playing with your emotions, what buttons people are pushing to get you off balance. It is your responsibility, beloved, to know your own flaws and your own limits. It is your responsibility to express your emotions in ways that are harmonious with your inner and your outer selves. It is your responsibility, beloved, to remain in balance with your emotions. No one else has that responsibility. Please understand that you can never control what other people do, think, and desire. But you can control what you think, do, or desire. And this is where your strength and your power lies. If you are among the people who said, someone made me angry, somebody else made me sad, this movie made me this, made me scared, nobody is making you any formal ways. You are the one doing it to yourself. It is one thing to feel an emotion, and emotions are energies in motions, meaning they are temporary. No one can be angry all the time. The same way no one can be laughing all the time. Emotion comes and goes. They are like waves in the ocean, up and down, up and down. And when you understand that emotions are temporary, they are never permanent and they are never continuous. Even an angry person has to take a break to eat something, or to go to the restroom, or to go to sleep. The same way a sad person, a happy person, a joyful person has to take a break. Meaning that the emotion is always temporary, beloved. So no matter what you are going through, what emotion is going through you, it will pass. That too shall pass. It is important for you to remember that. Sometimes you may tend to forget when the emotion is so strong, so intense, that you feel that it's gonna last for the rest of your life. And be reassured, we all been through at least one of those emotions that we felt will never end, that we felt would break us, that we felt was so overpowering that we didn't know what to do. And it is in those type of moments that you have to remember this simple phrase often said over and over, that too shall pass. Always remember that whatever circumstances and emotion you're going through, it is temporary. As it had a beginning, it will have an end. Staying in balance with your emotions requires you to know yourself. It requires you to know what things cause you to feel a certain way. Not so you try to avoid it, mask it, suppress it, or pretend it doesn't exist or is not there, but so you try to understand why is it there at the first place? Why is it there to begin with? By understanding why is it there, or by understanding that, you also have many ways to express that emotion if you want to express it. If it needs to be expressed, you can select the most appropriate ways for you to do so. A way that is harmonious with your inner world and harmonious with your environment and the people around you. And that responsibility lays on you. Many people complain that their parents didn't teach you XYZ, that you didn't know about emotions or how to master them or how to express them properly. Beloved, the wonderful and great news is that no matter what others did or did not teach you, now if you stumble upon this video, it's because you can now teach yourself. It is never too late. It is never unworthy to do it. Understanding your emotion drives you, and your emotion should drive you toward things that are beneficial for you and your environment. That your action and your thoughts should be made and entertained in harmoniously with your environment and your inner and outer world. That the responsibility of how you feel and how you express what you feel is not upon anyone else but yourself. Beloved, if you do not retain anything from this principle, this invitation of MAAT, retain this one thing, to own the responsibilities of your own emotions. You are responsible for your emotions, beloved. No one else is. Someone else's actions is not to blame for how you feel or how you express those emotions. It's important for you to understand what actions other people do cause you to feel a certain way. Once you do that, it's also important for you to look at the different ways that you have at your disposal to express that emotion. For example, you may see or understand that others may say things or do things that may cause you to feel angry. This is not a call for you to pretend that you're not angry or to disguise it or to try to suppress it. It's good that you acknowledge that you have anger within yourself or that you're angry about something. Now, it is a second thing to decide how you want to express that anger and which ways will be most beneficial for you to express it without harming anyone or anything within or without yourself. So that will requires you, when you're not feeling anger, when you're feeling quite calm, to look at ways through which you can express your anger. Some people, for example, will go for a run. Others will indulge in some type of sports. Other people will meditate, do a few yoga poses. Other people would take a run. Other people will draw, paint. Be careful about painting and drawings or even writing. Writing angry things and crystallizing them in paper is not something I will recommend. Instead, you may want to go in nature and speak your anger. Speak about it to the trees. Speak about it to nature. Speak about it in your prayers. Speak about it in your meditation. To be relieved, to be acknowledged and grateful for these pointers. The feelings you have, beloved, are pointing to something within yourself. Anytime you feel angry, instead of turning outwards and blaming the person who did something that made you angry or that made you feel angry, look within yourself and ask what the anger is trying to show you or teach you, and what the anger is pointing towards. Because as you work on your emotion, as you work on yourself in ways to not control, but ways to properly, harmoniously deal with your emotions, you will see that the reaction that you had is no longer the same. This is how you know that you're making progress, or that you're transforming yourself, because in fact you no longer respond the way you used to be before. If you were somebody who get easily upset, the way you will know that the work you've been doing on yourself is working is that you will have less and less of those behaviors. When you understand that there are ways for you to express your discontent or disagreement without having to yell at somebody else or to hurt them physically, emotionally, or any type of ways, you'll know that the work is being done and that you are actually progressing. The other thing to consider is that to stop forming stories around your emotions. Emotions are energy in motions. They are supposed to come and supposed to go. When you start forming stories about your emotions, how it made you feel and what somebody else has said and this and that and everything, what you are doing, you are actually preventing the emotion from leaving you. You are building it, feeding it, containing it within that story, within yourself. So, beloved, release it. Release those emotions that do not serve you and that are supposed to go their way, are supposed to move along, are supposed to leave you. Let go of that story, no matter how grand or sad or powerful or noble it may be. You may be somebody who's always been, in bad luck, and around that feeling of sadness or inferiority, you are building up, and it may be, whether it is true or false or exaggerated or minimized or however you see it, let go of that story, beloved. Free yourself of that emotion. Free yourself of that story. Free yourself of that vicious cycle. Remain in tune with your emotions. So it's important to understand it. As I said, the emotions are not there for you to suppress it, because they are useful. Emotions are useful. We are human beings. We are vibrant. We feel, and we feel because we are alive, and we feel those range of emotions because we are alive. And those range of emotions are pointers for us. They are information. They help us know more about our own self and how we are interacting with the world around us, our outer world, but also our inner world. So for every emotion that we have, it pushes us, it invites us to look at what created the emotion, what awakened the emotion in the first place. Because that's where the work needs to be done. That's where you shall begin. With what it means to you. Somebody says to you that you're ugly, and you become angry. It isn't about that other person and what they say. It's about you and how you feel about yourself. Where is the anger coming from? Doing this work on yourself is going to be the most rewarding inner work and outer work that you may do, because it helps you shift the blame from others to taking responsibility for how you feel and what you do with those feelings. And that's where your true power lies, because you never can control what other people want to do, but you can always control how you will react to what others do. That is completely within your own power, within your own vicinity. You can control how you perceive what happened to you. You can control how you feel about what happened. And within this element, this fear, this latitude that you have, there's so much work that you can do on yourself to better yourself, to free yourself from the chains of emotions that don't serve you, that don't enable you to move forward. Staying in balance with your emotion requires you this particular type of maturity. It requires you to put down the bag of blame of others, your ex-husband, your ex-boyfriend, your father, your brother, your mother, your toxic family, your toxic friends, your toxic co-workers, nature, the environment, the polluters. Always others, 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 others. Put all of those down and go within your own self where the answers lie. And have the courage to stand. Have the courage to take ownership of your own emotions. Take ownership of how you react. Take ownership of how you decide to perceive things and to deal with them. Be the own steward of your emotions. Learn how to navigate them and let them flow. The love that you have within yourself, let it flow through you. Stop holding love when it is a free flow towards others through you. Let the other's emotion, the other emotion, go on to their business. Let them move, let them flow. Stop retaining them. Stop building your personality or your identity around emotions that do not serve you. Be courageous enough to work on your emotion and how you express them, so that you do not pass the same pattern that you have to your children. Be courageous enough to become a model, an example for people who look up to you, and others that you don't even know are still observing and learning from you. Stand up and be mature. Stand up and live up to who you are, beloved. The magnificent being that came here to do magnificent things.